Yeah, welcome everybody to the Social Living Podcast. My name is Julian Green, mental and social media consultant, and my co-host Jamal Lawrence, social media executive at Superdry. I'm excited for this one. Excited,
Ah,
excited.
definitely, man.
Yeah.
Big
You
year
got a
ahead.
question
Big year
already?
ahead for. Should we play it?
Yeah, let's play it. Let's dive into it. Ethan.
Yo, man, how are you, Stu? I think that possibly NFTs are going to be a big part of 2022. But yeah, that's just what I think. And there's going to be a lot of thing about the metaverse and a lot of talk about it. How Elon Musk has got his social Neuralink. I think that's going to be on social media. But yeah, that's just some of my things for 30 seconds.
I like it, man. Straight into it. NFTs. I think we're going to cover probably a lot of these trends and predictions, and no doubt NFTs is definitely going to be in there. So we're definitely going to probably have a little conversation about that. And even on that front as well, I last night I went to a cryptocurrency presentation. It was actually an award ceremony,
How was how
and
was it? How was it?
it was interesting, man. Like things that people like this business, what they're gonna be doing in the next year. Like this sounds exciting. We're
Hmm.
talking about passports in the metaverse, and I was like, you know what? That just makes so much sense. Like we have
Hmm.
passports now here, right? But you need some kind of ID verification in the metaverse as well, where you can have all your assets attached to that. So you just need this one ID that protects you. So you are who you say you are, and you own. Like, let's say you went into like the Facebook metaverse, then you went in there, you earned some money or whatever, then you can take it with you, and then you go into Fortnite and you earn some money. You want that all to be kind of, instead of having like all these separate different accounts, you kind of need
Hmm.
one identification that just speaks that one universal language.
Yeah.
um so it just made sense. NFT marketplaces, NFTs backed by different different digital currencies. Uh, yeah, I was mind blown. I was mind blown. Like Bitcoin, everyone thinks Bitcoin is the coin. Obviously, it's the biggest coin at the moment,
Hmm.
but there's other coins out there that do different things. For example, if you're trying to mint an NFT at the moment, it costs you some money, especially if you do it on like Ethereum's network. But on other networks, it can be literally nothing, you know. So there's like some game changing technology out there. But again, that's probably in too much depth. But that's probably for another episode. But yeah, man, NFTs are here to. I say they're here to stay and
So
be a
here's a
goal.
question. Here's a question. You probably might have
Hit.
spoke about it yesterday, but when do you reckon NFTs will kind of become part of mainstream life, where the average man will kind of take NFTs into their life, and it might be purchasing it, it might be just having some kind of experience with it.
Um, that's a really good question. I think it's difficult because uh it's not like when we right now NFTs is mainly associated with art, right? So how
Mm,
much of your regular person just buys art? Not
mm,
many. But then if you, I mean, that's like in terms of visual design. But if you have an NFT that's just associated with like music or something, that could reach a vast majority of people. And the whole point of NFTs is for it to kind of be exclusive and rare. So if Drake came out with a song and only 10 people could hear this song, that he could sell that for a lot of money and it will be his biggest
mm,
fans. And then if someone wants to buy that off that person, it would just raise that value. So he could make a lot of money from this one song that nobody else has heard, but you have to purchase it to hear it.
mm,
And purchase it, like imagine Michael Jackson had that. Imagine he released this like maybe like what, like after he died or something, like God forbid, but like let's say he died or something and he's got 7 unreleased songs. Do you know what I
Mm,
mean? That could really do the rounds, if you get what I mean. So
mm,
yeah, it's hard to say when it will, because it's gonna take a long time for everybody to understand this. The good thing is that the younger audience already get it, so they're gonna attach
mhm.
this to their as they grow up. Do you know what I mean? So we're looking at like maybe 10 to 20 years, man. I think.
Yeah, I don't think I think that's about right, you know. Because again, we're at the foundation stages of this, and yeah,
Mm,
NFTs has been a topic for maybe the last like 18 months, and this is just like I said, the
yeah.
foundation stage. There's still
One.
layers to go in terms of like mastering their craft, getting logistics in place, systems that are ready to be occupied by a number of people. So definitely about 10 years off for sure. 10 to 20
Yeah, that's
years
right.
until it kind of becomes part of our lives.
Yeah, man, 100%, man. I think it will take its time. Ethan, what's Ethan saying, man?
So, with your question, Jamal, I think it'll be within the next couple of years because they're talking a lot about it on the media in general. So, Ubisoft are getting into NFTs in Ghost Recon Breakpoint. There's going to be a lot of gaming stuff within 2022. There's a couple of games called Big Time, I think. Um, Obviously, the metaverse is going to have lots of NFTs, but at the moment, 2021, going into 2022, there's going to be a lot of stuff to do with gaming within the NFT world. And there's a lot of like scams out there anyway. They're called rugs. There's a lot of rugs out there to do with NFTs. But yeah, there's one that I've currently got called. It might be easier if I join the conversation, and then I can talk to you more about it.
Yeah, let's add him in. Let's add him in. How do we do that? Do you know how to do that, Jan?
Just
Take him in.
yeah, I've just invited him.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so let's carry on
Yeah.
the NFT conversation. So yeah, what are you saying to us?
So basically, there's a coin called Hero, which allows you to. So they're in partnership with Sony, and it allows you to enter the metaverse as yourself. So you could be playing GTA as yourself instead of Lamar or what's the other?
Okay.
It escapes me. But yeah, all these games, Fortnite, you can go in as yourself. There's a lot of projects I'm getting involved in. Anyway, there's another one called. I just have to get to that. Why is it the internet is so slow when you don't want it to be?
No worries, man. But like, you know what? Just to kind of like patch it up. So in terms of NFTs, I think that's I think that's number one in terms of my prediction for 2022. I just think that when it comes to social media and NFTs, I won't be surprised if you will be able to like if Instagram or even another like social media platform just allows you to kind of have like an NFT wallet like on show or something like that, something that could potentially be on your feed, or I wouldn't be able I wouldn't be surprised if something like that just aligns, because you're seeing it right now. It seems to be the buzzword everywhere. Everyone is talking
Yeah.
about NFTs. And I think going back to Jamal's question in terms of it going like it being like just ready for everybody else to use, I feel like we're so far away from it. I feel like 2022 is too close only because people haven't even jumped on cryptocurrency yet. Do you see what I'm saying? And I feel like NFT is a level above. You have to actually have some crypto, like, and then going to get some, get some NFTs. And I feel like there's so many people who are just so far away from cryptocurrency itself. So I feel like if you're in the
So,
know, you're in the know.
For sure. And we've already, yeah.
Ubisoft is Say again?
No, sorry, go on, Ethan. Go on.
So basically, Ubisoft is launching their NFT within the game called Breakpoint, Ghost Recon Breakpoint, and they're
I
literally
heard of it.
launching it next year.
I think NFTs is really common amongst the gaming world. I feel like the gaming world
Yeah.
know what NFTs are and understand maybe the value in having like certain collectible items, certain skins that might not be available to everyone in the game and things like that. But it's good to see. It's good to see all these people, all these brands dabbling in and testing it out. I think it's incredible. I want to be seeing. I want to see once you see people like Greg's getting involved in NFTs, then you know it's here for everybody.
And it's
You know what I
mainstream.
mean?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
mainstream's got hold of it.
that's what we want. That's what it is. Because the likes of Nike, they're gonna do something innovative. The likes of Ubisoft, any games, any social media platforms, they're doing all these stuff already. It's getting everybody else on board is the biggest challenge, and that's just gonna take a while. But yeah, man, NFTs are here to stay. I know that for sure. And I know it will just evolve as well, like smart contracts, the way we trade. Even minting an NFT right now, it costs so much money. So we need to have like there needs to be some kind of for it to be mainstream, that price needs to drop a lot. And also on top of that, this is probably a bit complicated, but on top of that, certain cryptocurrencies that mint NFTs is actually costing the planet because it produces so much carbon. So there are currencies out there that actually are much greener for the world. So like we're probably going to see some big shifts in terms of what platforms NFTs are going to be minted from and what currencies they're going to be backed by. So there's all that still to be played, and then the NFTs needs to be regulated as well. So there's all that to come into play. So right now, Gary Vee can make $91 million from NFTs, but would he be able to do that in 2 years' time? Once you have to start paying having taxes, it's associated to a tax code, or you know what I mean? Like it's all gonna change. Right now, it's like a wild west. People are getting conned left, right, and center, but we need that to stop
Correct.
before everyone kind of like can jump onto it to get it. So yeah, man. NFTs, man.
I think,
NFTs,
yeah.
jam. Go.
Yo. I was just gonna say, I think that you mentioned a good point within that. You mentioned about how things will need to become greener before they become mainstream. I think that will be for next year and for the next, I say like probably the next 10 years, that will be a major push from the big corporations around the world. It'll be become the big push around sustainability and becoming more greener. And I think that would then transport onto social as well. Everyone's messaging is going to be about how clean they are, portraying the best versions of themselves, how they're putting the planet first, and so on. And it'll be interesting to see different companies' stance and strategy around that, because at the moment
Yeah.
everyone's jumping on it, and these companies used to kind of find their own voice and their own way of telling that message without it getting too samey and standing out or greenwashing like the fast fashion companies have kind of had on them. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think again that sustainability element will be part of one of these trends for next year.
100%, man. 100%. I think that will take over everywhere. Like, I won't be surprised if we start seeing kind of like carbon calculators.
Mm.
Like, how much how much carbon did it use for me to, post on Instagram, or mint this NFT, or you know produce this reel, produce this TikTok. Like these are all things that could potentially come in um, within the next year, because sustainability is something that is on a lot of companies' lips. It's on the government's lips here, and it's something that they got goals for 2022 as well. when it comes to like your carbon footprint. So we're going to see a lot of businesses having to adapt to that, and social media doesn't escape that as well. So yeah, um, yeah, that's another one. So we got NFTs here to stay, merging with social media. We got sustainability, uh, and going green. That's definitely a great prediction there. Have you got any others?
And we've got, yeah, I think the battle of TikTok versus Instagram will be a major one. I still don't know who wins that battle, but I think next year we'll
TikTok.
kind of should see. Do you think? I think next year will kind of
Yeah.
show where the tide goes, because I know there'll be a massive push on Instagram's half to kind of gain back that market share in terms of video content. I know that that's what they're talking about at the moment, is pushing video content, both long form and short form. And I think if they can hit their monetization goals, I guess, for next year, they could kind of get that market share back. But it's just, yeah, it's just their strategy around that, and if they can kind of roll that out effectively.
Yeah, it's you know what? TikTok Instagram conversation has thrown me. I remember when we first started this podcast and we asked that question, and I was like blindsided. I was just like, yeah, straight Instagram. Instagram wins.
Mm,
But now I've been using TikTok a little bit more, understanding it a little bit more. I'm actually like, as a content creator, I'm like, I'd rather be on TikTok right now,
mm,
because Instagram's great. Like, a lot of people are on there and get a lot of eyeballs, but in terms of like actual influence, sometimes I feel like their algorithm can go against you. Where
mm,
the way TikTok works is very much more, because they reward you so much. It's very much more like it's like a casino. So you can get addicted. Like, you're not getting you can get addicted to just like the amount of views you get and the amount of likes you get. Like, where sometimes I feel like with Instagram, you can just not get likes because people just didn't see your stuff. Do you see what I'm
mm,
saying? Or do you know what I mean? But on TikTok, you can have 0 followers and then out of nowhere get 100K views.
mm,
Because the algorithm will want you to post again. Do you see what I'm saying?
mhm,
So then on Instagram, on Instagram, you're not gonna get that kind of growth, like just out of nowhere. If you got no followers, it's highly unlikely you're gonna get more than 2,000 views on a video or likes on a video, just
mm,
because of the way the algorithm is set up. You have to put the work in. You have to comment on people's posts. You have to like people's posts. You have to share people's posts. You have to like really strung out and build a community. Where on TikTok, they can just give you a community, and then you can kind of build from that. And then once you get to 10,000 followers and 100,000 likes, you can start getting paid by TikTok for the views and your engagements. And that's something that Instagram just doesn't offer. So right now, if I was a content creator, I'm more likely to go to Instagram. Do you know what I mean? And you're seeing
mhm,
some content creators at the moment as well. You're seeing them not posting videos on Instagram until they start getting paid from them. So they'll post all
mhm,
their videos on TikTok and they're just posting pictures on Instagram. That's a
mm,
strategic because they want they don't want to put out the same content and not make money from it. Do you see what I'm saying? So yeah, TikTok with that type of business model, they're not going anywhere. If you know what I mean.
Also, yeah. I kind of think as well, like TikTok, in a time where big corporations have come under a bit of slack, TikTok has jumped in and it's essentially been made for the people, by the people. So it's quite an authentic space. Whereas Instagram, well, for me anyway, seems very ad heavy, very polished, very perfect. Seems like the perfect world, which is contrast to the way TikTok is. So I think that's what
Mm,
gives TikTok the edge at the moment, just because how
mm.
authentic the content is and people can literally just be themselves. There's everything shot on like on an iPhone or Android, and it's not a polished area. And I think that's why people like TikTok so much, just because of that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's also another thing as well. Yeah. And like I can't even lie. Like if the last 30 days, like how many lives have you watched like on Instagram versus TikTok? I feel like I watched way more lives on TikTok than I've watched on Instagram.
Mm, mm.
Like they
See,
have like mad interesting lives.
mm. So I've not actually watched the live, you know. I don't watch lives in either.
Really.
So it's interesting to see because I know TikTok been pushing lives and for fashion businesses, they've been pushing a lot of live shopping stuff. It's a bit like it reminds me of like QVC
Yeah. Yeah.
and those type of stuff.
I can't believe what I've seen. Like literally, there's like like people who have factories in China and they're selling like let's say something simple like bracelets. They're selling bracelets, but they've got their live channel on TikTok, and they'll get paid from like people like you know how you can like send a coin or send a nugget or whatever. Like you have to
Mm,
pay for that's like the TikTok currency. So when people are
mm,
pressing the like button or whatever, they're getting paid from all those different engagements. So
mm,
that there's all these like incentives, and then they're selling their products like live on the TV. So
mm,
I'm live on TikTok, sorry. So it's like they'll put everyone's name who's maybe on the live, and they'll do like a little draw, a little raffle, and they'll like take out like someone's name, and they win like a bracelet, and then they'll send it out to them. Do you know what I mean? But they're like these people will be getting like 5,000 people in a live, and let's say like 100 of them are like like engaging, so they're making from money from that, and they're making money from the bracelets as well being sold. So it's like
mm,
it's just crazy. And it's like, oh, they might do like special deals where it's like you don't pay for the bracelet, you only pay for delivery is like £3 or something. It's like they're just doing like all these different things, but people are actually making a lot of money from TikTok. And I feel like people really care about that. I just feel like on Instagram, you have to put in way more effort to be able to have that community. Do you see
mm,
what I'm saying? So like I expect in 2022 for Instagram to try and make some drastic changes to try and keep more people on the app. But really, a lot of people are just using Instagram as like that secondary tool. Like it's there because it's massive, and I need to show that I'm active. But I'm gonna be on TikTok way more,
mm.
if you know
It's
what I mean.
interesting
So
because on paper, Instagram should win. Like, will they if they get their strategy right? They should smash TikTok out of the park in terms of the
mm,
amount of users they have. Everyone's already got their following on Instagram, so if they can just work
yeah,
out their monetization piece. They should they should win that battle. But yeah, the momentum's with TikTok at the moment, which is hard to stop.
yeah. So like who's winning that battle for you
I think next year TikTok. Yeah, I think
next
TikTok
year?
might win it.
TikTok.
Yeah, I
Um,
think so. Just because of the
I
momentum, and it's hard to stop.
I'm gonna be bold, right? And I'm gonna say Instagram. I'm only
Okay.
gonna say Instagram because Instagram, I suspect Instagram to put out Instagram bonuses next year.
Hmm.
So that means people could start earning money off Reels. I think that would be a good game changer. That will get a lot of more people, a lot more content creators back onto Instagram.
Hmm.
And then on top of that, I think if they can integrate NFTs a bit more, I reckon that could be a good turnkey. Um, so if they do start implementing maybe NFT, you can mint NFTs through Instagram. As it's already a shopping platform, I feel like it might be very easy for them to do. Once they do that, I think that will like that will win. I think
Hmm.
that will push them ahead of TikTok just a little bit. So I'm gonna oppose what you said, and I think
Hmm.
yeah, I think Instagram. What about you, Ethan, man? What do you reckon? TikTok or Instagram?
TikTok.
Any reason why?
Because it's gave a lot of people a platform to work with, man. Where Instagram, you have to work a lot harder to actually do the content. Where you can put 15 seconds of content out there and get a lot more views.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. No,
I've done one video, it's got 554 views.
yeah, yeah. No,
So,
I agree with that. I agree with that. Like, it's just so much. it's so much more easier. However the algorithm works, I think it's so much more easier. Again, I just feel like the way TikTokers create their platform, it is to me, it's like they got all the content creators and they throw them in the casino, and then it's like, here's all your coins, and your coins being your content, and it's like keep putting them into the machine, and you'll win every now and again, and then you're waiting until your next video just goes viral, kind of thing. So you're just waiting to hit the jackpot. So it's like, oh, I just got 100K views. Okay, when am I gonna get that again? Keep going. You get 10K, 5K, 8K. Oh wait, he's slowing down a little bit. Oh, let's make him win. Okay, here you go. You get 800K. Oh my god.
Mm. I
So
think, yeah, I
yeah,
think
man. Cool. I don't know if that's
I don't know.
you, Jam. Yeah, it's Nathan. Yeah, yeah.
No.
All right, cool. Go on.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I was just gonna say, I think that casino reference is fitting because of the way their interface is. Like, it's almost the way their videos show up on your phone is like a slot machine. Like you pull down a lever just to see what you're getting next, which
Yeah.
is, yeah, no, it's a nice little reference. It's a nice little reference.
100, man. I feel
Mm. But
like,
you
yeah, I feel
mentioned,
like that's gone.
so I was just gonna say, you mentioned a point about earlier about Instagram and it's been seen as a shopping platform, but I still reckon they're not there yet. I think next year we'll see a big push in terms of them becoming a bigger player within e-commerce and digital commerce, because again,
Mm.
their Instagram shop's there, but I don't think it's used enough in terms of taking that step away from going on a website. I think people still go to the website or go to an app, a separate app. So I think again there'll be a big push there to kind of convert people to shop more through the platform and stay within that Instagram bubble rather than coming off the app.
No, I agree with you. I couldn't agree with you more. I think that um I think that the reason maybe why in Instagram specifically shopping hasn't kind of taken off on there is maybe because like there might be a trusted element. I feel like it's like you it's like let me say like websites have now like the it's like the shop. It's like it's more trusted. I'm gonna go down to the shop. Do you know what I mean? I feel like when you go to
Mm,
the website, that's how it feels like because you're not used to buying on social media. Um,
mm,
there's a obviously there's a good percentage of people who still buy through social media, and they might buy directly with the person, but they might not. I don't feel like you can just go straight onto the shop and then just purchase. I feel like that takes a lot, and I feel like you would have to have a certain relationship with a customer and the brand before you kind
mm,
of can go and do that. And I feel like
mm,
yeah, they're away from that. But yeah, I think that's a great prediction to be fair. Like the social media just kind of just immersion more into a shopping platform. But do you feel like Instagram's doing too much when they do that? Because it's like it becomes like everything's just there. Like I never go to the
yeah,
shopping tab. Like never.
no,
Like
no, no. I get it. They just want to dominate all aspects of digital, I guess. And I do think they are doing too much. They're trying to battle with everyone rather than staying in a lane and mastering that lane. But then
mm,
in the past they've they've done that and it's worked in terms of stories taken up from Snapchat at the time. I thought, who's going to watch Instagram stories over Snapchat? I'm still going to go on Snapchat to watch stories, and now
mm,
Snapchat's almost dead. So it's worked in the
yeah.
past. So it'd be interesting to see if that will carry on.
Yeah, no, you're right there. I feel like I don't know how they're gonna convert shoppers like into that. Um, I'm expected to see this big push. But if NFTs come into it, that could be a good introduction for so many people to buy NFTs through social media, and I think that could be almost deemed as shopping. And there might be a push. I suspect that there might be a push through that as well. So
For sure.
yeah, that would be very interesting. I think I got another prediction as well, which is more augmented reality options. So I don't know if you've seen it on Instagram already, but like when Squid Game came out, there were all these kind of like Squid Game augmented reality games that you could play like on your Instagram stories or as a reel. So you could easily, so like you load up your camera on stories or on what's it called, or on reels, and then you could choose like a Squid Game augmented reality, and then
Mm.
it would play like a game on Squid Game, with the bit with the girl and she shoots you if you move.
Yeah, yeah,
Have you seen? Yeah. So
yeah. I've seen
every
it. I've
time, so
seen it. Yeah.
and then every time you blinked, you're moving closer and closer. So I saw that and I was like, yo, that's wicked. But imagine like now, let's say Drake comes out with a new album and he's got augmented reality piece to go with it. Like he would go even more viral. Do you know what I
Mm.
mean? So I feel like that's gonna be a big piece in for Instagram anyway.
But
But
I
for
think,
all social media really, like TikTok, Snapchat, augmented reality, I feel like there's gonna be loads more options.
yeah, I think with that that like gamified piece with IG stories and augmented reality, I think Instagram needs to look at that approach because even though like it's sick like doing it, but people don't
Mm.
necessarily then post it. Like it's,
Yeah,
whilst
yeah,
you're doing it, like you do it like offline almost, just playing around, but then you don't then post it. So it's kind of what's the strategy behind it? Like what is it to
yeah.
post the story afterwards? Is it just to play around? Like it's just finding out what the end goal is, I guess, with that.
Knowing Instagram is probably there to keep you on the app, and then once you've done with it, probably an ad will probably come up, and they hope you click on
Mm,
that.
mm,
So it's like if it helps you to stay on the app a little bit longer, I think that's where they might see the success. Do they need you to post it? Maybe not. I feel like only the successful viral ones will be posted. Um, but who knows? It might be something that just gamers take up on and they might be able to engage in it. But I think it's a nice little touch.
mm. No,
You
definitely,
know,
definitely.
like if especially if like you're a musician or something, let's say like you went to WizKid's show or whatever, and then he did like a augmented reality piece or something like that. It would be really cool. I saw an example of this like 3 years ago with Elton John. Um, and I think it was his movie that he came out with, but he did like all these Snapchat like augmented reality things, and all his fans like in the queue or the cinema or whatever were just taking out their phones and just doing these little challenges, and you can win prizes and all this other stuff. So all that I think it would be really, really, really good.
So,
Well,
so I
you got a
think
question
I got a
here.
question. Yeah, yeah. Let's play it.
Rehan,
That is an interesting
Raimi?
point, Jules. Yeah. So NFT, if the NFT is being introduced from the social media, like you can easily sell the NFT through social media, that would be the great thing. And since the Snapchat is dying, yeah, that could be the thing that can save them.
Yeah, we totally agree with you there, man. Rehan. Uh, I hope I'm saying your name right, Rehan. NFTs, yeah, like again, it's just once once any kind of platform that kind of dives into NFTs now, you're just gonna stay relevant and people are just gonna pay attention to you right now. So we hear that Snapchat's dying, or if they're able to incorporate NFTs into their platform some way, somehow, it will help, you know, you might be able to keep some of your users that you might be losing and whatnot. So yeah, no, it's a big shout. It's a big shout. Jam, have you got any more predictions for social media trends?
Yeah.
What
So
do you got?
again, I think within the advertisement space on social media, we've seen a lot more privacy restraints coming in with iOS 14, 15 now, kind of affecting social ads. I know that there's going to be like a cookie. I'm not sure how to word it, but there'll be more cookie restrictions within websites now going forward. So people will become harder to track. So I think all this works in influencers' favors because they've already built that audience of people. So instead of through ads, if you wanted to target a gamer, that might be harder to do. So now influencers will become more effective because the brand will go straight to the influencer to reach that audience rather than doing it through ads. and the influencer comes with credibility and a well-known fan base rather than turning up with ads in a space that you might not be recognized with. So I think, yeah, influencers again just gonna get a massive their bag's gonna get bigger because yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
they'll be the go-tos.
yeah. You reckon you ever see yourself as an influencer? Because influencers now going down, like in terms of how much followers you need to have. You know, before you need to have like bare followers, like let's say 10K, but now you got like your micro influencers that can have
Mm,
like 1K to 10K followers, and then suddenly brands might want to like turn to you to help. Part of their, I guess, part of their social media strategy and
mm.
influencer strategy when it comes to rolling anything out.
Yeah, I don't know about me personally. I feel like I like to keep myself quite private, so I don't know if that's for me, but I think you're right with the the uh, the following of influencers now becoming less and less. I think that's part of brand strategy. I always reference it back to football. It's kind of like non-league that area like between
Yeah,
1 and
yeah, yeah,
10K and the money going towards filtering down going to non-league. And
yeah,
it's like I guess brands are like agents and they kind of look at the upcoming talent, I guess you can call it, and kind of look to jump on the wave before they grow and expand. So
yeah. Mm.
yeah, I just think, yeah, again, I don't think influencer marketing is going anywhere. And yeah, the bag will just keep getting bigger, and there'll be more share of it. I think now, like you said, with people with smaller accounts getting more opportunities too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Can
No,
I
you're
ask you a
right
quick
there.
question?
Yeah, go for it.
Like both of you, basically, the word influencer really annoys me because I can you understand where this is going? Because yeah, it just winds me up because like a lot of young people get influenced by um, all these Instagrammers, all these TikTokers, but who are they actually influencing? Because an influencer technically is a role model, but then you got all these young people looking at role models that ain't really role models in the traditional sense, if you get what I mean.
Mm,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a really, it's like a deep, that's a deep topic because I think the word influencer, like just on the surface, we understand it's just someone that just has followers. But if
hmm
you can change its meaning by thinking that, oh yeah, it's gonna be like someone who's like a role model, and that's like someone who has real influence over you. And I feel like I personally don't think there's a lot of real like influences out there, if you know what I mean. Like I think it works in different ways. Like sometimes you might know something's an ad, that influencer has been paid to do something, and that might make you less likely to even purchase something. But then that might just be that type of person. Then there's loads of people who might just see Drake wear a certain watch and suddenly everybody wants to wear that watch, but he hasn't
mm,
even mentioned the watch, and that's real influence. And
mm.
to a lot of people like Drake could be steamed like a role model. So there's different levels to this influence and stuff, like 100%.
Yeah,
Um,
sorry, I was gonna say I kind of think as well
there
that
you go.
I don't necessarily think these influencers set out to be role models. I just think they're trying to build a following, and then they get to a stage when they realize how much influence they actually have. Like, I watched Molly May's interview with Stephen Bartlett, who's kind of queen. She's the kind of queen of influencing in the UK, and she was saying that her every movement is followed. Like she is the trend. Whatever she does, girls follow. She gets lip fillers, girls get lip fillers. She removes her lip fillers, girls remove her lip fillers. And she kind of said this was unwanted. She didn't want that. She was just growing her
Mm,
audience and showing her life on social, and this that role model kind of status became part of who she is, which is it's good that she's kind of speaking about this. But I don't, yeah, like I said, I don't think they set out to be role models. It's just become part of the image, I guess, that they carry.
yeah, 100%. Yeah, I agree with that. I actually saw that interview with Molly May, Stephen Bartlett. Definitely checked it out on the Diary of a CEO. Yeah, that her story seems mad, and the fact that she's being like followed and had to move house, and
Mm,
she's so afraid to like give out her address and stuff like that. That's proper influence, and obviously that she probably never set out for that type of influence, and that
mm,
just makes you even more cautious of how you move. And that's someone with some morals, because some people who might have that type of power and influence might not even consider how they need to move. They just love every minute of the attention and everything. Do you know what I mean? But the fact that she needs to be cautious of what she says and stuff, I think that's really important. Even Gary Vee spoke about it as well. Like, he spoke about not talking too specifically about certain NFTs, just because he knows that he might say something and then suddenly everyone's gonna go try buy this NFT or something like that. Do you know what I mean? And I feel
mm,
like that's almost like influencer social responsibility 101 type thing. So it's like, yeah, like a lot of these influencers need to be aware of the power that they have, and a lot of them think they have influence and they don't. But the ones that do have influence, I hope that they know that they have the influence that they do have, and kind of act out on it accordingly, and doing positive things. The fact that Money Me is taking out her lip fillers, that's a good thing. Influencing people
mm,
to kind of, you know, um, appreciate their natural beauty. That's something that is morally probably correct. It's more in aligning with maybe anyone's purpose. Is just appreciating your your natural beauty. What you were born with. But again, there are counter arguments to that, because people want to look like how they want to look. But again, sometimes I think those decisions are just emotional ones. But I'm not going to sit here and say that, there's people who got their nose done and they were so happy, and they've just been the happiest they've ever been.
mm.
But I feel like the issue is when how it gets. People look odd, and people look odd after
I
certain
get it. Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah,
surgeries, and
faces are
somehow
all
that's
chiseled
viewed.
and yeah.
Yeah, like Botox, people go too far. Like, okay, you want to get one or two, whatever. I don't know. Like, some people go way too far with it, and you're just like, whoa. Like, I'd rather you just look normal. But
Mm,
yeah, it is what it is. It's perceived like beauty and all that. That's your own answer. That's your own relationship with yourself, right? So
mm.
yeah, man. I got another prediction, man, and that's audio, man. Audio, what we're using right now. So big up stereo, because I never heard of stereo like this time last year. Never heard of it, and this is classed as social media, of course, and places like this, I expect them to just grow even more. So the likes of Clubhouse, Twitter's got like different audio rooms and things like that. Audio is big. Audio is big. You don't need to see our faces or whatever to be able to just have and enjoy a conversation, um, you know, and build relationships and stuff like that. And I think that is something people want and probably going to need in 2022, especially if we're still living with COVID, and yeah, and we're going to be having like lockdowns and stuff like that. People need to talk to other people and have conversations, and this is like the perfect platform to be able to do that. So yeah, I think they just become more popular. We'll probably see more of a growing a growing population on here. More people following the likes of stereo, Clubhouse, and audio rooms and things like that. So yeah, like we would never have even met Ethan or spoken to Ethan if it wasn't for this platform. You see what I'm saying?
Mm,
And he
mm.
tuned in like the last 3 weeks, which is amazing thing. So yeah, social audio, I think that's going to be here, and more prevalent in 2022.
No, definitely, and there'll be that power shift as well. If you've seen Spotify kind of invest heavily within their audio and their podcast feature with kind of buying out Joe Rogan and stuff like that. So I think we'll kind of see more of it in the new year. As
Yeah,
yeah, like you said, stereo, Twitter, Instagram, Clubhouse, YouTube as well. Like they will have their own audio features, and it's who kind of wants to own that space because it's kind of spread out at the moment between a lot of different a lot of different platforms.
Yeah, yeah. No, I agree. I agree. Oh man, I think next year looks like it's going to be a big, a big year, man. These are there are a lot of predictions. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? Like, there's a lot like these NFTs, influencer marketing, social audio, the battle between TikTok and Instagram. You could
mm.
probably argue like where would Twitter be next year? Have you got
Yeah,
any ideas?
I think there's always a space for Twitter. I just think it's that for me, it's just that reactive place. So if anything's happened, if anything's trending, it's happened, I go to Twitter for that. It's essentially become like my news feed, I guess, my my news channel. Like that's where I go for any like if anything's trending, if there's a concert going on, and I want to see people's reactions, I go to Twitter. Same thing with
Yeah,
football. If I want to see live scores or journalists' opinion of a game or whatever that might be, again, Twitter's that space. I still think there's a space for Twitter. I just don't know how they evolve to stay more
yeah,
relevant.
yeah. To be fair, we haven't even touched on the news of Jack Dorsey and him leaving Twitter. Um,
Mm.
I don't know if you've seen the news. I
I've
don't
not
know
seen
what it
that, you know.
means though. It was so Jack Dorsey, founder of Twitter or CEO of Twitter. I don't know. He was one of the co-founders, I believe. And yeah, so he basically resigned.
Okay.
And they chose like I guess, different CEO, someone who was passionate and all that. But it didn't. It was really abrupt. So it seemed like there might be something sour that happened, and then he kind of suddenly left. But I think that's also a big thing. So this might mean that Twitter might go in a different direction as opposed to what we might be used to. So
Mm.
it'd be very interesting. And to be fair, it might have been something that's already been happening over this past year. Some of the decision making that they've had. So yeah, it'd be interesting. So
No, for sure,
I
man.
know I know he invested in. I know he recently purchased, I believe, Tidal. So yeah, there's that. So he might be going into that space, which would be very interesting. I don't know.
Mm.
I don't know. I wonder how that will work. Um, but
To
yeah.
be fair, mentioning that as well, just a quick one. I think that has become a trend. In terms of like transparency within businesses, we seem to know more about businesses now than we ever have. We've seen the likes of was Missouri, the Instagram go to. I don't know what his actual role is. I'm gonna say head of Instagram, but
Yeah, head of
he's
Instagram.
yeah, he's very transparent in terms of keeping people up to date with the latest trends and stuff like that. Um, and you've got the likes of Stephen Bartlett and those guys, but yeah, they represent Boys as well. Like founders are becoming more transparent in terms of you got Ben. I kind of forget Ben Jart as well, Mr. Benjamin. They become more transparent in terms of how they approach social media. Reese Barra as well. I keep thinking that people keep coming to my head, but yeah, in terms of how they approach social media and their strategy on it, like that
You
personal
know
brand
what?
is definitely flying the flag for their brand.
Yeah, 100%. I think what you just said there, I think that's also probably another trend for 2022 is like brand transparency and social listening, maybe. That sounds like fluff, like marketing fluff. So brand
Mm.
transparency and social
That sounds like a
social
headline for a
listening.
PowerPoint slide.
um, so yeah, brand transparency and social listening. I think that will be something that will continue for 2022. And I think when you're a brand in 2022, I think that once you understand that you're also
George, you muted yourself. Hello?
kind of
Hello?
hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yeah, the phone just cut out there. I don't know what happened. But yeah, I think once you understand as a brand or as a company that you're a media company as well, because you have social media accounts and stuff, I think that's when you decide to offer like transparency, because you need that for your community. Your community is probably even going to get bigger based on the fact that you offer certain transparency. So you're seeing more and more CEOs coming out talking about certain situations, discussing certain rollouts and things like that. Where before a lot of these things might just be internal, and then it was just that, you know, employees might say certain things. But now, you know, if you're going to be the head of Instagram, you probably need to be active on social media as well. And what I like about Adam Missouri is that he's like on the grind with the content creators as well, like trying to build his audience and his
Mm.
page, and you know, doing interviews and things like that. And we're seeing that more and more with different you know, business owners and people in like high level positions. They have to come out and have these conversations. If I even think about, like, we relate a lot of stuff back to football, but you know, Arsenal, our team that we support, they go through a lot of issues and they know that they have to address the fans. Like before, the owners never addressed the fans ever, like
Mm.
hardly ever. And if they did, it was like some letter. Do you know what I mean? And you
Mm.
know, presenters are reading it out. But now they're doing interviews, and you know, they might do live Q&As and things like that to try and offer a little bit more transparency. So yeah, I think that would be key. So brand transparency in 2022, and social listening, which is just listening to your audience and understanding what your audience want from you as a brand, which yeah, I think will be a big role for 2022.
For sure. For
Yeah,
sure.
man. I don't really have any other predictions, you know. I feel like I'm all out. I feel like my crystal ball is empty right now. I feel like I've done it all, man.
No, I think we've kind of we've got a good maybe like 10 points there in terms of
Yeah,
predictions. So now that's a strong list. That's a strong list, and it'd be interesting to
yeah,
see which ones kind of follow through and and what's the shining light at the end of all of this.
yeah, 100%, man. I don't know, you, Ethan, have you got anything else you think might happen in 2022 in relation to like social media or any other trends?
No, literally, just NFTs, man, and fucking yeah, da. Um,
Mm.
a lot of stuff with the metaverse, a lot of stuff, and gaming.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that as well. You know, like this whole meta stuff. Like literally every day I go on Instagram, I feel like there's someone's bought a metaverse company. Someone's bought a, you know, someone's doing something with the metaverse. So like, they've got their first space in the metaverse. I don't know if you feel like this, Jam, but I just feel like every minute there's a metaverse, and NFT is just on everybody's lips.
Hmm. For
It's just
sure.
like, okay, where is this really going? Like where? Like
Ready
that's
Player
the
One.
Ready Player One, yeah. Yeah, like with that, I just can't wait to see how this unravels. Like in terms of investing, um, one thing they do say is that if if everybody's talking about it, it means that's not what it is. Do you know what I mean? It
Mm.
means that that's not the thing. You know, if your mum's talking about it to your taxi driver, telling you about this big opportunity, it normally means that's not the opportunity.
Or
So
the
that means
opportunity's
it's,
passed.
yeah, the opportunity potentially has passed because it's a bubble. It normally means it's a
Mm.
bubble. So yeah, that's where I get weary about this whole metaverse and stuff. And again, the key thing is going to be regulation, because I
Mm.
know there's going to be loads of people just laundering money. Oh yeah, I just sold an NFT for 100 mil.
Hmm.
Do you know what I mean? And where did that 100 mil come from then? You know, I can buy my own NFT. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, so like there's a lot of dodgy stuff going on there. So yeah, man. But big up, man. But yeah, man, this was a strong episode, man. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. I'm happy to wrap it up there. Social media trends and predictions for 2022. Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to it. What are you saying, Jam?
Yeah, man. Again, it's going to be a big year for social media. I think we'll see more opportunity with jobs as well in terms of brands kind of double downing on their social team. So yeah,
Mm.
keep it coming, man. It's an interesting space and it's exciting space, and it's good to be a part of it as well,
Trust
and
me.
staying on top of it all.
Trust me, trust me. No, it's big, it's big. Yeah, man. Stay tuned and more stuff coming from the Social Living podcast as well. NFTs coming. We'll have in more interviews coming as well. More topics, more guests. And who knows? I might predict a live show in 2022. Who knows?
Mm,
But we'll see. But it'll be, you know what? It won't be when I say a live show, it's gonna be different. It's not going to be a live show. It's going to be an intimate experience.
mm.
That's what I think I would prefer. Uh, Not just your typical, oh, yeah, we're having the same conversation, but we're doing it on the stage. Let's make people
Yeah,
interact. We're talking augmented realities. We're talking NFTs. We're talking fashion. We're talking branding. Let's speak
mm,
this stuff into existence. And 2022 is probably going to be our biggest year yet. So, yeah, looking
mm.
forward to that. And yeah, man, peace out. We done.